some reporters and said some things I shouldn't have said, and made a mistake that cost me my job, and I was asked to resign from the White House, but I still had such an incredible experience that I wanted to share with readers and the American people more about the real Donald Trump that I got to know so well.
Fantastic, fantastic. So this book, incredibly well written. You've put a lot of time and effort into this book. Talk to us a little bit about the writing process for this book.
Sure. After I left the White House, I had obviously lost my job, and so I was devastated and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, and realized that I wasn't really ready to start something brand new, wasn't really ready to jump into anything. And so I wanted to write the book, for as much as for myself as for anybody else. And so it was an incredibly cathartic experience, and I learned a lot about myself, got to reflect on all of the incredible things that I got to do while working at the White House, and really was a very special process because it was a lot of self-reflection and a lot of memories that I got to relive, some very, very happy and exciting, and others not. Others were a little bit more difficult to relive, but I'm so glad that I did it.
We have got a tremendous guest with us today. She joins us live here in a broadcast. The book is called Off the Record, My Dream Job at the White House, How I Lost It, and What I Learned. Madeleine Westerhout with us today here on our big broadcast. So this book, incredibly well written. You've put a lot of time and effort into this book. Tell us about some of the different reviews you've gotten on the book so far.
I think the most exciting review for me was President Trump's tweet. He was very supportive of the book. He said it was well written, and unlike a lot of the other books out there that have been written about him, he said this one is actually accurate and comes from someone who really knows him and was really there for a lot of the key moments. And so that, of course, was very exciting, and I was just so thankful to have him be supportive. But I've also gotten a lot of really nice reviews because it's a very personal book as well, and I think it's very relatable. I think most people can relate to making a mistake or having a slip up and either losing something precious or hurting someone that you care about, and it's kind of all about how you recover from that. And so I was very, very honest and vulnerable in my book, and I think people respect that.
Well, the book is incredibly well written. What do you make of some of the different feedback? Like when the president sent out that tweet, what did you think of some of this?
I was very appreciative of the president's tweet of my book, Off the Record, and really just very thankful that he was supportive, and was mostly glad to know that he knows. That he knew that I was telling the truth and sharing what a positive experience I had working directly for him for over 2.5 years.
We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, and this book, absolutely incredible. Off the Record, My Dream Job at the White House, How I Lost It, and What I Learned. Madeleine Westerhout with us today here on our broadcast. So how exactly did you become into this position as the executive assistant?
I was working in Washington, D.C. at the Republican National Committee for almost 4 years. And then during the 2016 election, the RNC works very closely with the campaign that secures the Republican nomination. And, of course, that was Mr. Trump's campaign. And after Mr. Trump won the election, I had the opportunity to go up and spend some time in New York in Trump Tower, and caught the attention of him as well and a few other senior administration officials, and was given the opportunity to be his executive assistant and sit right outside of the Oval Office, which I was so honored to have that opportunity.
Fantastic. So where does this book start, and where does it end as far as the chronological with everything?
It starts with this off-the-record dinner that I went to last year, and I walked the reader through how I ended up at that dinner, because I am someone who is not ever used to dealing with the press. I don't talk to the media. I don't talk to the press, at least in my former job. That was not my job, so I didn't bother talking with them. And I have in Bedminster, New Jersey, with the president and some of his team. And I was sitting by the pool having a couple cocktails and ended up getting myself invited to an off-the-record dinner. And so the book starts there, and I walk the reader through this dinner, what happened at the dinner, and the aftermath of it. And then I kind of go back, which is really fun, and kind of go back to how I got this job, and then walk the reader through everything that happened in the White House. And a lot of friends and family always ask me, how does the book end? And I know most authors aren't supposed to spoil the ending, but my ending is very good and happy and positive, and the ending is where I am now, which is very much at peace with everything that happened.
That's awesome. That is phenomenal. I will have to say that you have you presented yourself well, because a lot of folks were to get something like this and have it kind of end for them and not be as positive as you are. So that is to be commended, my friend.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Now, this book, talk to me a little bit about your writing style. What do you have a particular writing style that you did?
This is my first book, and so I wouldn't have considered myself an author or a novelist or anything like that before this. And so I guess the writing style that I used is very personal and very personable, and anybody that knows me, and I hope even people that don't know me will read the book and be able to hear my own voice. And so just a very personal book.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today, Madeleine Westerhout, with us today, off the record, and she joins us today here in our broadcast. And tell me a little bit about the cover of this book.
So the cover is a photo of the president and myself in the Oval Office, and it's one of my favorite photos. And he's sitting at his desk, the Resolute desk, and I am kind of leaning over him with some paperwork, showing him some paperwork, and so just kind of gives the reader a little bit of a glimpse of what the day-to-day life was like for me.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, this book is incredibly well written. You've put a lot of time and effort into the book. What do you want readers to take away from your writing of this book?
From my writing, I think, well, with writing the book, I had two kind of main objectives, and the first was to share with the reader a different side to President Trump and a more vulnerable human side to him. I think the mainstream media gets him very wrong, and so I wanted to share with the readers the man that I got to know so well. And I also wanted readers to understand that I made a mistake and I took responsibility for it, and I've moved forward. And like I said, I think that's a pretty relatable thing to go through.
Yes. And so how's the book been doing? What are, as far as sales and feedback and everything?
I think everything is going well. I never did this book to make millions of dollars or to become a New York Times bestselling author, and so success in my point of view is just a positive reaction from readers, and I have definitely received that. So I'm very proud of it, and no matter how many sales I get, I definitely believe it has been successful.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, I appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on our program and chatting with us and talking to us about this great book. It's called Off the Record, and Madeleine Westerhout has been our guest. And Madeleine, have yourself a wonderful day, and thanks for being with us. This is definitely